Well, I still can't figure out those few times that I automatically started the video recording when I didn't mean to, and now that I wanted to use it, I don't know how I started it, and I didn't see it in the settings. But anyway, it does not matter. Saw a post on Facebook. Yeah, you're probably gonna hear me say that a lot, right? But I saw a post that said, can we normalize having a home with your significant other, but having separate bedrooms? And what I have to say to that is, why don't we just normalize everybody doing whatever works for them? Whatever makes them happy, okay? Like, there's some people were like, oh gosh, no, I would never split rooms with my partner. We always stay in the same bed, you know. Some people were like, oh, this is perfect. So if we're mad at each other, I can sleep in my own room. I wouldn't really go to bed angry, but you know, different strokes for different folks, right? That's that saying. Anyways, but that's what everybody's relationship's going to be different. And that's okay, as long as it's working for them. Now, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to make it work for other people and it's not working for you, don't do that, okay? Because you're then causing discord and going to be, what would that word be? You won't be living in harmony, okay, with yourself. I was trying to figure out if I was to add the dis, yeah, anyways. For example, I know some people who will stay in relationships just because they don't want to have yet another failed relationship. So they're staying because they don't want that. Yet they're not in a good relationship. They're not in a happy relationship. They're staying just for the sake of what everybody else thinks about them and their relationship. That's not good. Now, if you're truly happy to stay, truly happy to try to work things out, and everybody's in agreement, everybody's got the same intentions and all that jazz, then by all means do it. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, don't do it. The only reason you should be doing something is if it makes you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. Okay? Stop caring what everybody else thinks. Okay? Like I said in my other videos, we all have different views on how to raise children. We all have different views on how to treat animals. Some of y'all are messed up, by the way. But they might not think it's messed up because it's an animal, whereas us animal-loving people view that as messed up. But it's the same when it comes to relationships. It's the same when it comes to what food you let your children eat. It's the same with whatever education level you decide to get. Now, I understand that, you know, if you're going to be a lawyer, med school, doctor, I'm sorry guys, I'm like so out of it right now, but everybody's living a different life, okay? And I'm gonna like sound like a broken record. I'm gonna keep repeating it. Just because they're doing something differently than you are doing doesn't mean what they're doing is wrong or bad. Just like if they're over there doing something, they're not worried about you and what you're doing. A lot of you don't allow others to want what they want, but you want them to allow you to want what you want, but you're not allowing them to want what they want. Massive contradiction right there. Extremely hypocritical right there. Okay? Find what makes you happy. Find what works for you. And do that. And don't worry about anyone else. If somebody comes to you and says, oh, this is what I'm doing in my relationship, and I have a fantastic relationship, don't sit there and be like, oh God, I could never. I could never. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to, right? But they do, and they're happy with that. So let them continue to do that. That's all we're saying. It's not that hard, guys, to just allow other people to do what they want to do. And again, this is something I'm going to keep hitting on, is there's no right and wrong. The universe doesn't have a right and wrong. There are no rules of the universe, right? There's laws, which is different than rules, but we are the ones that are putting these rules out. If a woman wants to be with a woman, let them be with a woman. If a man wants to be with a man, let them be with a man. Why is that so hard? It's because you are trying to push what you think is right and wrong onto someone else. But guess what? Clearly they don't think that that's wrong, but you do. But so what if we flip it? What if you're right, but they are also right? Because it makes you happy to be with a man if you're a woman, but it makes them happy to be with a woman and they're a woman. So move on. Get over it. What they're doing with their life, guess what? You don't have to do it in your life. Imagine that, okay? Leave them alone. Let them do it, okay? Same with basically every other controversial topic that there is. Leave them alone. We gotta stay out of each other's business. It's none of your business, okay? Absolutely none. The only business you should be minding is your own. Literally no one else's, okay? It's not that hard, guys. It's really not, okay? Now, this is where I pride myself in being able to see so many different perspectives and being so understanding. Because I can see why somebody would want to live that way versus that way versus that way versus my way versus that way. I get it, because we have the ability to do that. There is not one right way to live life. There is not one right way to be in your marriage. There is not one right way to raise your children. There is not one right way to treat an animal. It doesn't exist, okay? We are the ones that put that into place. That's why you have to understand other people don't have the same things, thoughts, beliefs, all that jazz, morals, values. They don't have the same ones that you do. They don't. Not everybody does. You may find a group of them that do. They maybe agree with you on relationships and stuff, but they don't agree with you on education. They agree with you on money, but they don't agree with you on family stuff. Like, that is the beauty of all of this, that you don't have to do the same thing I do. You can do whatever you want. Isn't that great? We literally can do whatever it is that we want. And now I get some of you are probably like, well, but there's laws, so I technically can't do whatever I want to do. Well, you still can. If it is truly what you want to do, you still can do it. Because how come, those of you that watch some serial killer documentaries or true crime documentaries, some of those people perfectly fine with what it is that they did. Are they facing the consequences? Yes. Do most of us believe what they did was wrong? Yes. But guess what? They don't. Like, have y'all watched some of those? Some of those, they don't have any guilt or shame. They don't feel any remorse. They don't care. They did it because they wanted to do it. And that's all that matters. They did what they wanted to do. Now, some of you are probably like, so should we just allow them to do it? I'll let you guys answer that one yourselves, because I'm really not trying to start any arguments in the comments here, but you just worry about yourself. Do what you want to do. Think about the things you want to have. Think about the experiences you want to have. Keep a nice positive attitude. Allow others to do the same thing. Because if it is one thing that I dislike, it is a hypocrite. You can't bend the rules only for yourself and not for others, okay? You can't bend the rules to where it suits you when you need it to. That's not how that works, okay? Big problem I had in the church, okay? We'll discuss that another day. But when it comes to life, when it comes to law of attraction, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, right? That's all that we got to do. Have friggin' fun here. What else are we to do? Really think about it. What else are we to do here? Are we really to work a 9-to-5 job and hate our lives and retire at 62 and a half or 65, whatever the hell the number is? Do y'all really think that's what we're supposed to be doing here? If that was it, I'd be like, take me out of here now. Because I'm not doing that. We are here to create the life that we want to have, that we want to experience. You can't do that when you're doing all this other stuff. When you're doing things for other people and worrying about other people's emotions and, oh, what do they want to do? Who freaking cares what they want to do? What do you want to do? You gotta get a little selfish, talk about it all the time. Just a little bit. Not selfish to the point where, well, if you want to take advantage of others, go ahead, because if that's really what you want to do, and you're fine doing it and you're happy with doing it, then who am I to tell you not to do it? But like we just discussed earlier, that's something that I wouldn't do, but somebody else probably does and has no problem with it, right? But just have fun. Do what you want. Stop worrying about what others are doing. Stop worrying about what others are telling you you should be doing. Because I'm going to tell you, all you should be doing is what you want to do. So many of you have spent your life doing what others want you to do. And let me ask you, how happy are you? Are there things that you might think about right now, maybe from your past or even your current situation, where you're like, man, I really wish I would have done this instead, because that's what I really wanted to do. Hey, leave it alone. Sorry, my dog is like licking the crap out of the couch. I don't know why. There's a massive wet spot on it now. But think about things in your life that maybe looking back you would have made a different decision. Okay? But at the same time, take that, think about it for a second, and then tell yourself, from now on, I'm going to promise myself that I will make decisions based off what I want to do. Okay? We briefly discussed kids. I get some of you can't do what you want to do because you have children. I'm telling you, that should not stop you from doing what it is you want to do. Now I get those of us that don't have children got an easier time at making these decisions and planning these things prior to having children, right? But if you're watching this and you're wrapped up in the life of your child right now, you've got to find a way to give yourself some time. You've got to find a way to get a little more selfish about you, okay? Now, I'm not saying neglect your kid. That's not what I'm talking about. But if grandma and grandpa can watch them for 3 hours one day a week while you have some alone time. Maybe you tell your husband or your partner or significant other, whoever, hey, we need to set up a time where each of us gets alone time, away from the kids, away from each other, to do things that we enjoy doing, to do the things that we want to do. And maybe set up a schedule with your significant other where you sit down and you say, okay, on Mondays I'm taking 3 hours to myself. You can have Thursday 3 hours to yourself. Whatever the number is, whatever the day is, however many times you need to do it, but do it. You need that time alone. You need that time to be a little selfish. How many parents, or at least how many parents do I know that when they go shopping, they think about what do the kids eat? And they buy all the things that the kids will eat without even thinking about what it is that they want to eat or that they should be eating. How many times do you go shopping for clothes, but you only always buy clothes for the kids, and then you're sitting there like, oh, I don't even have any socks. I don't even have any whatever else that you need, yet you always go and get stuff for your kids. Again, I'm not saying to neglect them, but you're neglecting yourself when you do that, and you don't want to do that. You will be a happier you, a better you, for yourself and for others when you take that time to be a little selfish. Just a little bit, okay? There is nothing wrong with taking your kid to daycare. You are not a bad mom or a bad dad for taking your kid to daycare so you can have some alone time. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. And those other people that sit there and tell you you're a selfish mom or you're whatever for doing that to your kid, one, like I told you, if you're happy with making that decision, then make that decision. Don't think about everybody else. Look at all the positives that come out of your kid going to daycare. That kid, especially if they're an only child, gets to go hang out with other kids, gets to learn social skills, and gets to learn so much from being around other children. You get some alone time. Maybe you finally get to hang out with other adults instead of talking to your kid all day. How many of you, your mind goes freaking crazy because the only person you talk to is a toddler who can barely talk? Okay? Like, take some time for yourself. Get back to being who you are. Happy with yourself. Happy with your life. Happy with any and everything you can think of. And that's going to benefit your family. It's going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit your family. It's going to benefit your coworkers. It's going to benefit your friends. It's going to benefit everybody around you. And if it's somebody who won't benefit from that, guess what? They will leave your life, right? So don't worry about that. Don't worry about what other people are saying about the way that you parent or about the way that you are with your significant other. If you are happy making that decision, then please make that decision. Just do it, okay? Just freaking do it. Now, I understand some of us that have significant others, you might need to have a conversation with your partner before you go making some drastic decisions, right? But at the same time, it really depends. Me and my husband, I'm going to keep this brief because I'm going over the 20 minutes. We split bills, right? He has his own money, I have my own money. We do not have a joint bank account. We split bills. Whatever it is that we have left over after everything, it's up to us to spend it on whatever we want to spend it on. So if I want to spend it on chips, I want to spend it on socks, or I want to spend it on a coaching program, that's what I'm going to spend it on. He gets to spend his stuff on whatever he wants. And that works for us. That makes us happy. That makes things easier when it comes to talking about financial stuff. I don't have to sit there and get permission from him to spend, my money, right? Like, I don't have to get permission from him. Now, when we talk big ticket items, we usually both kind of put money towards that, and then we'll go out and buy it. I don't just go out and spend $1,000 on a brand new TV and TV stand. That's why we don't have it yet. But, so we discuss those things together, and we sit down and figure out a plan for those things. But the money that I have in the month, I get to do whatever the heck I want to do with it. I don't have to have a conversation with him about it, because we agreed upon that in the very beginning. So, to recap, stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Let others do what it is that they want to do. They're not interfering with your life. They are not doing anything to you. You're allowing them to do something to you by you continuing to complain about how they're living their life, but that's not your problem. Only your life is your problem. Everybody else's life is not your problem. Just like your problems aren't their problems. Like, nobody cares, okay? You focus on your life. Focus on what you want to do. Let others focus on their life and what they want to do. And watch how much things start to change just by doing that one little thing of doing what it is that you ultimately want to do. All right, for now, that is the end of my video. We got a little dinner party kind of thing to go to, so I'll see you guys in the next one.